Krystyn.
How are you?
I am fantastic. We're able to people watch and record at the same time, which is a new experience.
This is a new experience. We are out on the Montour Trail, friends.
Yes. We should have probably picked up on some history points about the Montour Trail that we could talk about.
Probably.
Good thing we have the internet.
I feel like there's a lot of things we could have, should have done.
Mm-hmm.
We did not do to prepare for this.
That guy was
It's okay.
I am not making eye contact with anybody.
Nope, not a chance. He looked at our sign and he was just head down right past us.
Yeah, nope. Pass on by.
Jeff has given us
Look at that Yeti over there.
Look at that Yeti. This is the South Hills Yeti.
Yeah, the South Hills Yeti. We have the North Hills Sasquatch and the South Hills Yeti.
He just shook his head and walked away from us.
He's going to take the car and leave. Take the money and run.
So I do want to share something exciting.
Okay.
Well, first of all, let's welcome everybody.
Okay, yeah, let's welcome.
Okay.
All right, welcome.
Welcome
to Two Mystic Mamas.
So while we're talking about people from different places, let's give them a little overview of what's been happening with us recently.
Okay.
We have moved our podcast over to a new feed.
Mm-hmm.
We have new editors.
Yep.
I mean, things are growing.
Yep.
And with all of this, we have new analytics.
Oh, analytics.
And I am happy to announce that we currently have listeners on 4 continents.
Ooh, 4 out of 7?
Yeah.
All right.
So I don't anticipate any listeners on Antarctica.
I don't know.
Anytime soon. Maybe.
There's an election coming up.
Oh, God, you said we weren't going to talk about that today.
I know, but I'm just thinking, what would drive people to move to Antarctica? And it could very well be the election.
It could.
Okay, anyways.
Anyway, Europe, Asia, Australia, and obviously North America. So I thought it would be really fun to give a huge shout out to our friends and just kind of talk about where some of these people are. We have people in Australia. We have people in Ireland, Canada, England, Armenia, and like a huge diverse collection of people in the States too.
Love it.
We have listeners in Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
I love it.
Right.
I don't know anyone in Baton Rouge.
Neither do I. We also have people in Maryland, Alabama, Montgomery, Alabama. Hello, Montgomery, Alabama people.
Okay, hi.
Connecticut, Colorado, San Francisco,
Mm-hmm.
Boardman, Oregon, Fairfax, Virginia, Seattle, and of course, our friends in Athens, Ohio at Jackie O's Brewery.
Oh, gosh, love those guys.
And here we sit in Western Pennsylvania, which we obviously have a lot of listeners all over PA, which is so lovely. Hello to all of our Pennsylvania friends.
Yeah. Hi, guys. As we also refer to you as our cosmic crew. And we do send out a weekly email associated with our drop. So if you want to join our weekly email list, please reach out. There's different ways that you can sign up. It's on our linked tree. You can also send us an email if you would like, twomysticmamas@gmail.com.
And that's TWO.
Yes.
You know.
Not the number. So yeah, we are here on the trail and it's a magical trail. I will just put it out there. It is, so many birds are around us. There he better not come back. I think I threatened his life and he heard it.
You really got sassy.
I mean, I was going to kill this guy. We are talking about a giant
murdering something is nothing new.
Airplane hornet. Well, let's just preface it. Let's stick to insects and rodents. Okay? I don't murder people yet. Are there any murderers in the building? We don't know. Somebody asked me if I watched that show. Please, someone else ask me if I watched that show yet.
Hey, Rachel.
Yes, Krystyn.
Do you watch Only Murders in the Building?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
We're big fans, personally.
Yes. I have watched it, and I really enjoy it. But I am not as far caught up as you are, so I can't talk about it with you.
It's dumb.
But I did just watch a show that I fell in love with. It was a short-lived series, only 3 seasons, based on a series of books. And the show's called Discovery of Witches, and it was fantastic.
I know, you keep telling me about it, but I cannot wait
fantasy.
to listen.
Yeah, it was really lovely. But now it's over. So, all right. So we're here, and you guys can probably hear some of these birds. There's this awesome app from Cornell University, and the birds that I've picked up on thus far, well, I haven't. The app has picked up on it. Blue jay, tufted titmouse, a northern flicker, a red-bellied woodpecker, a black-capped chickadee, and a Carolina chickadee.
We walked outside our house the other day, and the birds were going crazy, but it was the same sound back and forth, and it was not really one I had ever heard. So I opened the app, and it was a cardinal, a northern cardinal, but it was a very different sound than they ever make, and they were going crazy.
2 of them?
Yeah, then Charlie saw 2 of them chasing each other, but there definitely were more than 2 because they were talking to each other across the yard. So there were like 2 on one side, and then there were obviously others on the other side.
Mm-hmm.
We also picked up our great horned owl last week.
Oh, yeah. Because I always think owls live in barns or structures, but I guess
They live in trees.
Trees. Yeah, that makes sense.
Generally like holes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. You know
Their
why?
own little personal caves.
You know who has a famous owl on it?
Or dens. Who? What? Tootsie Roll Pop?
Winnie the Pooh. Winnie the Pooh.
Let's talk about this some more. So excited.
How many times can I reference Winnie the Pooh? Well, Jeff was already making fun of you for not knowing.
Like, oh, the show Krystyn's not seen.
Yeah. So we've had a few bicyclists ride by us. You never know anymore. They could have those hybrid bikes. And I was thinking, wouldn't it be funny? It made me think of that movie where Big Daddy, where they throw sticks into the bike wheels.
Is that the Adam Sandler?
Yeah, that's Adam Sandler.
I know something.
Yeah.
So exciting.
Yeah. And in Central Park, which naturally we're not going to do. But I was very concerned because the leaves are starting to fall. And I am a little concerned about riding bikes in wet leaves.
Let me tell you.
It just seems like a bad combination.
I did a couple of triathlons in my day.
Mm.
And the Pittsburgh triathlon used to be held. It would start down by Heinz Field. And you would be in the river, obviously. But then the biking portion would actually go all the way up the HOV lane. Like you go through the north side, then up the HOV lane to Perrysville.
Yep.
To the park and ride, and then come back down. I want to say it's like 12-ish miles. I don't know. I can't remember. But the one year, well, actually both times I did that particular triathlon, it rained.
Mm.
And the HOV lane is covered in oil from cars. And coming back down, there was a woman on a bike who bit it in front of me and broke her hip.
Oh,
I know. It was terrible. If you happen to be
that's why
listening
I
to this
don't
podcast,
do
lady,
triathlons.
that's the reason?
Yep.
Slippery
No.
HOV lane?
Yeah. And a broken hip.
I know. They don't have them there anymore.
The hips.
Yep, there's no more hips.
No more
Nobody
hips.
has hips. The hips, in fact, did lie.
Hips don't. Hips don't. Oh, I have a question for you. When you orgasm, does your body spasm anywhere?
Anywhere or everywhere?
Particular areas.
It's like an out-of-body experience, Rachel.
Both, right? In body. You have to have an in-body experience, I would imagine.
Yeah, all the things.
My hips lock up.
Oh, yeah, mine can do that too. Yeah,
Okay.
for sure.
What is that? Why do the hips lock up?
I don't know, but I feel like sometimes I'm
And then I'm like, and I have to like straighten my legs out
you got a Charlie horse?
in my hips. It is so funny when it happens.
Should we get Jeffrey over here to weigh in on this hip situation?
I mean, we could ask him.
Oh, lover boy.
Come here, lover boy. Oh, that's such a good. Oh, that's another movie reference.
Ooh, Dirty Dancing.
Oh, ding, ding, ding.
Hell yeah.
The DD.
You know why I knew that so quickly? I'll be honest. I knew it, but it was in the recesses of my brain.
Mm-hmm.
I have been a recent fan of Alona Mar from the women's rugby team.
Oh, yes. Yeah, no. Yeah,
She's
yes.
fantastic. Alona,
Yes.
come on our podcast.
Yes.
I think you and your sisters are the shit.
She was just on.
She's on Dancing with the Stars.
Yes.
And they did that song.
Okay.
Or
I don't
a
watch
version of the song.
Okay.
But they put a reel up on Instagram and she was like, come here, lover boy.
Yeah. No, she's fantastic.
Oh man, what a champion for women and girls.
I mean, yeah, she is the whole package.
Those back muscles.
Yeah, the whole thing.
Ooh.
She's just very inspiring. And
We love you.
Yeah. I need to say a better word than yeah. Just yeah. I need to come up with a word that encompasses like a deep meaning when somebody, when you have a thought that comes through you and it gives you all the feels and it means so much and you just can't put into words all of the things.
Mm-hmm.
The word for that should not be yeah, but that's the first thing that comes to my mind. Yeah. Anyways, we need to come up with a better word for that. I need to come up with a better word for that.
We're groundbreaking over here, guys.
I was going to ask you another question. When you said about Dirty Dancing and what it made you think of, what was the first movie that got you excited?
Ooh.
And how old were you?
I don't know that I actually have a memory of this. We've talked about this. There are like big blocks of my life that are completely gone.
Yeah.
And that's a trauma response.
Okay.
So there's a lot of like simple questions like this where people are like, oh, I remember the first time I like blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I have nothing. Charlie and I have talked about this before. There's definitely things like that where I'm like, yeah, I have like no recollection of that kind of stuff.
So I have similar responses when I was younger, like in elementary school. Most of my memories from when I was younger were either the summers or just being with my family. I have very little memories of interactions at school, like none.
Oh, I have memories of those.
Gone. And I think it was a trauma response too. I think I just, it wasn't something that I enjoyed. I was a tattletale.
Oh, yeah, we talked about this.
Yeah. And so I have no memories from that, period. Very few.
I feel like you come up with stories and tell us stuff, though, sometimes. And I'm like, man, Charlie does this too. Like, wow, you have like a really great memory.
Well, my movie was Pretty Woman, without a doubt. Richard Gere, Julia Roberts.
What was it that got you turned on about that movie?
I think just the love scenes in general. They were just very sensual. And I've always been like a sensual person when it comes to love in general. And I think he was just very sweet and real, even though she was a prostitute. I think he treated her like a real human. Naturally, that's the whole premise of the movie, is how it turns into an actual relationship. Like the scene on the piano.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know that scene?
Sure.
You don't know that scene. You're disagreeing with me.
I am disagreeing you because I don't remember it.
Anyways, you'll have to rewatch it. But there's a scene at the piano where she goes down to see what he's doing, and then they totally do it on the piano. You know what other movie?
Sounds dangerous.
Yeah, I agree. The other movie that is just like a beautiful movie, and it's like a really good scene. Doesn't get me excited, but it is The Scent of a Woman with Chris O'Donnell. Do you remember that? And Robert De Niro. No, Al Pacino. Sometimes I get those two guys confused. Even though they don't really look the same, but they kind of play similar characters. Do you ever do that? Get two actors confused?
Yeah, sometimes I do that.
Like you interchange them?
Like Winnie the Pooh and...
Jeff? Thought you just pointed to him.
No.
Winnie the Pooh and Jeff. We have a beautiful setup. We have candles and we have some incense and we're on the trail and there's birds. It's just a real happening experience over here. All right. So what else is on the agenda for today if we do not get any trail walkers?
We have no agenda for today, Rachel.
We were just going to ask.
The whole plan was just to, we have questions. Let me pull up the questions.
Okay, let's pull up the questions.
So really a lot of what we were planning to do today is have people come and talk to us about their energy, their personal growth, their magical serendipitous moments of life. So we do have some guest questions.
So here we got the beauty and the ambiance and the canopy, but no people. We got a lot of birds. Why don't birds fucking talk?
They do. We just can't translate it.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to do this again. Even if nobody comes and sits in our chair, this is how you grow.
No, yeah.
This is how you grow. If nobody comes and sits and enjoys this experience with us, that's totally fine. Do you have anything magical that's happened to you recently, Rach?
Yeah, I have things that magical that happen all of the time, like every day. I have signs all the time that I'm on the right path, I'm on the right trajectory. But a lot of times, the magic that happens in my day-to-day, some could consider it small in measurable terms. Like yesterday, I had one of those days where I went down rabbit holes that I was not intending to go down, but they were so beneficial and important for the journey that I'm on. And no one would look at that and be like, oh my God, that's so magic. But for me, I knew it was magic. Like I knew that I was being guided to look into some of these. I was in the garage digging through things, which was not supposed to be on my agenda, but I was there doing it and ended up doing a ton of reading and reflecting on things from my past that brought me into this space where it showed me how much I have grown since, XYZ time from my past, which I really feel that I needed to know because I feel we get into these places sometimes as humans where we can't see the growth. We might feel it, but we can't see it. There's nothing contextual to like sink our teeth into. And then when you go back and look at pictures or look at cards or look at documents from a time gone past or a job gone past, and you see that growth, and then you see the magic in what you're developing and what you're doing and what you're moving towards.
Right.
What about you?
I feel similarly that I have a lot of magical moments every single day, and I get a lot of signs through my cards. I had a very magical moment actually last week when I don't think we talked about this yet.
Okay.
Did we talk about this? We have a guest coming up who is a healer and energy worker, also does past life regressions. And we were having a call with her to prep for her coming on to the podcast.
Oh, with your grandmother?
Yes.
Yeah. We did not talk about this, but we should definitely talk about this.
I mean, we were towards the end of the meeting, and she was like, do you have a grandmother or a maternal spirit or somebody that's on the other side? And she could see it coming over. And I thought I had seen it as well while we were in the meeting. And this is the thing. And she kind of elaborated into this, but I have been getting the same card repeatedly, like once a week for the last month, that I have some sort of maternal grandmother, spirit guide, angel, guardian angel, whatever you want to call it, that is supporting me right now and along this journey with me. And I was really feeling like maybe this is great-great-grandmother or, even further than that. And it because of how I grew up and then, my maternal grandmother did not live near us. So I have memories of her, but she was in her late 80s when she passed and I was 12.
Yep.
So she was considerably older. We lived in a different state. So while I have memories of her, I didn't have like a close relationship with her. You know what I mean? Like a loving relationship, but nothing.
Sure.
Like we didn't get an excess amount of time together or anything. And my paternal grandmother was not overly affectionate, to say the least. Oh, you know who it could be? It could be my aunt, my great aunt.
Okay. Was this your maternal mother's sister?
This is who Evie is named after.
Oh.
Because her
Isn't
and
it
I
fun
were
when like the light bulb goes off?
We were very close. And so she's not a grandmother, but she's a great aunt. And she basically
But she is like a grandmother figure.
Like a grandmother figure to me.
Ding, ding, ding.
And she was saying like when she felt this spirit coming in to our meeting, that this was somebody that was like an immediate, not like generations past.
Correct.
And also somebody that was like a hugger and very affectionate. And I'm like, oh my gosh, now I get it.
Yep.
Now I fucking get it.
Yep. So her name is Evie.
No, her name is Adele.
Oh, Evie Adele. Okay, yeah.
Her name is Adele.
Oh my God, it's coming up again.
I know. And she was named after her mother's best friend, Adele.
So Adele to the third.
Yep.
Look at that.
And Evie had a show last night.
And she sang Adele. Oh my God, this is so good. We are manifesting so hard right now.
I can't believe I just had this light bulb moment on the podcast. Though,
on the podcast.
It's been like bothering me. I'm like, Not that I didn't love my grandmother or
No,
anything
but
like that, but I
get
was like,
that.
it doesn't make sense
Right.
that she would be the
Right.
one that's here with me
Right.
because I don't have that
Plus-
connection like
right.
I had with
Again,
my Aunt Adele.
it's still energy, right? So even though
Right.
they're physically not here, spiritually they are still with us. And so when you think about energy and just how it works, it would make sense that when Nisha gave you that download, you were still tracking with it. Like there was still validity there, but it was
Right.
like something's still off. Like
Right.
something is still not connecting.
Now it all clicks.
Now it all clicks. That's
because
very
she
cool.
is very affectionate. And
Yes.
she mentioned her hands, and she was a piano player, and we would play together. And
Well, damn. And this was your dad's sister.
my dad's aunt.
Oh, so this was your great
My
aunt.
great aunt, yes.
Okay.
And
I
have
never
the
say
most,
great aunt. I always say great aunt.
most adorable photos of her and Evie when she was little. I'm going to pull up a picture to show you.
Oh, yeah, please do.
She was one of the most remarkable humans I've ever met in my entire life. She was such a beautiful light,
Mm.
and she did not have a mean bone in her body.
Mm-hmm.
Ugh, I miss her so much.
Mm. Oh, well, I bet she's here.
Well, and I have
Hey, Adele, you want to
connected-
come on to the podcast?
I know. I've connected with her daughter since, who's my dad's cousin, and we've become really close.
That's awesome.
So we go visit them every year now.
Oh, they live in Maryland.
Yep.
Yeah, okay. It's all coming back. I love those connections. I walked out this morning and I got a huge whiff of my grandfather and there's like one particular room in their old house. And I was like, okay. I just rolled with it. I was like, all right. I even said it out
That's
loud.
crazy.
I was like, God, it really smells like my grandpa right now. He was a pipe smoker. And
So was my grandfather.
yeah. And so like pipe cleaners make me think of him, dirty pipe cleaners and tobacco. I think sometimes when I'm in this type of environment, don't they call it forest bathing?
Yes, ma'am, they do.
When you just sit and absorb. Jeff's probably over there saying, I'm so fucking hungry. Let's just bring him on.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Let's get him over here.
She just turned right around. She looked at our sign and just...
She's like, I cannot walk past them. It's so funny how it makes people like uncomfortable to like, it's not like you have to walk past us and stop.
We're not heckling people.
Yeah, you can just walk past us. Why is he on the phone? Or is he sleeping? Is he watching something?
Let's zoom in.
Jeffrey, come on. Come join us. He's like, why? No. What a boob.
Well, he's not going to get to touch boobs now that he didn't come on.
That's right. He would come on if Charlie was here.
Do you think the last episode is so funny? I was listening to the edit this week and Charlie comes on and he's like, fine. He's speaking into the microphone. And as soon as we put the headphones on him, he started fucking whispering. And I was like, what are you doing? He's like, I'm so loud. I'm like, oh my God, now you worry about being loud?
Uh-huh.
But then I was like, I just took the headphones off of him. So when they do have a podcast together, Charlie is going to apparently whisper and Jeff's going to yell.
That's going to be super enjoyable.
Have fun with that, our lovely new editors. Let's give them a shout out.
Okay.
Keegan and Nick are our new editors.
Yes.
We have grown in such a beautiful way. So our podcast is now a part of the practicum for an audio engineering program at a Pennsylvania-based university.
Yep. And it's one of those win-win situations where we get to help students grow in their audio editing, cutting, finessing, fine-tuning exercises, while we also receive amazing quality, incredible work. And it's that give back to the community while also lifting up the community. And
Right.
so all in all, we'll give some woo Woo for Nick and Keegan.
Big shout out to our new editors. And don't you dare edit this out.
Yeah. If this does not make it, we will put it back in. Up.
I love the idea of the practicum, though, because it is real world experience.
Yes. Yeah. And, these are kids that are...
They're not kids.
I know. But to me, they're kids. But these are young adults that are taking tangible information and turning it into something that they can then use when they go. They can put this on their resume, right? This isn't like we went to college and then we got a degree and then we started working. They can say that, this is basically like an internship, right? And they do get credit for the work that they do on the podcast. And the other thing is, Krystyn and I, we are not professors. We aren't teachers. And so it's almost like we're employers to a degree. So we also are able to give them that sort of feedback and that sort of interaction, which is going to be very useful when they go out into the real world and have to get a real job. Or we might just keep them forever.
Yeah, they might just be employed here. Aw, we have a friend.
An old soul.
He's like, I want to stay with this.
I know.
Ladies.
He's like,
come on. Oh my goodness. What's his name?
This is Tucker.
Oh, Tucker. What's up, dude?
So sweet.
You are such a handsome man.
Oh my goodness.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes, we don't have any treats though.
No, welcome to the podcast, Tucker.
Next time we will bring treats for all of you. Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, Tucker. You're real cute. The dogs of our podcast.
Tucker's like, I'm going to stay right here and protect these ladies.
Yes. Oh, but now he sees maybe a friend. So apparently, if we say that we have a dog-themed podcast, I think we might get a lot of traction. I mean,
we're going to come back here and do a dog-themed podcast.
And we need to bring treats. So everybody's engaged.
Rachel, can I ask you one of these questions?
Ask away.
Okay. What is something you've let go of recently that has made you feel lighter?
That is a good question. I feel like I'm always working on myself in a very intent way. Like every day I wake up, I set intentions for the day. And I think I have recently been really trying to, and it's still a work in progress. Like I haven't fully been able to let it go, but it is to trust in divine time and just know that everything is working out for my greatest and best interests, because building a business is not for the faint of heart, and being an entrepreneur is just a lot that goes into it. You don't have control over a bunch of stuff. And so I think just letting go of the fear that's associated with failing at a business is something I've been really working on and letting go daily. Because those thoughts will come up and then I'm just like, nope, I'm just going to let that go.
Is it really failing, though, if you're learning a lesson from it?
No.
I saw a quote the other day, and it was talking about this. Of course, I don't remember the quote, but the gist of the quote was talking about how we talk about failure, how we view failure, when really, quote unquote, failure is just a piece of life where there are ups and there are downs and there are all arounds. And just because something is perceived in our mind as a down or a failure doesn't mean it's a failure. We have a good friend here with us, guys. It's our dear friend, Nicole.
Yeah.
Hello.
What's up? All right, so we'll give you guys some back history on Nicole. We tell them how we met, how we all came together.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, okay. So I was actually listening to you all yesterday, the last episode.
Divine Downloads?
Yes. And you kind of mentioned there being a bigger picture of how you two met.
Mm-hmm.
And why don't you tell everyone how you two met?
We did.
How?
At a party.
Through
you.
Through me.
Yes.
That's what I'm getting at.
Oh, I was like, what?
We did. Like, wait, hold on. What is she getting at? Yeah.
I thought you were saying
Nicole, she's just staring at me like, don't
well,
you know
I feel
what I'm
like
saying?
I'm your connection. So
You
that's
are.
almost my, okay, wait, what was my question again? Has there been a moment when you felt connected to the universe or something greater? Well, you can't.
Yes. This. What year was that you introduced us?
I would say it was, you guys probably met in 2010 or 11. Was it a Halloween party? It would have been in 2011. Okay, so that would have been 2010.
Yeah, 10. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I was going to say, because I didn't have Evie at that point.
But you and I met way before that.
Yeah.
Well, it's so funny because it couldn't have been that far before that in the big scheme of things, because when I was talking to our mutual friend whose ex-husband died, I was talking to her yesterday. Her kids, the oldest is turning 23 and the youngest is turning 21, which is mind-boggling because that is the same age that we were when we all met and came together.
Yes.
Which is,
and that would have been in, I wouldn't say that was
2005.
2005.
Yeah. So I'd only known you for 5 years. It felt like so much longer. I mean, now.
It was a big 5 years.
It was a big 5 years.
And we probably spent more time together than a person does these days.
It's true.
After you have the kids and the jobs.
Yeah.
And we used to work together every day and live together every day.
I don't think we lived together when we worked together.
No. We worked together and then we lived together.
There was a lot of life happening.
Yes.
And then we all came together.
I know. What a lovely little circle. So do you ever feel like, Nicole, because our circle is pretty tight-knit, but also at the same time very wide in terms of our friends. So do you ever feel like there was a specific reason that all of us came to be friends?
I used to think that a lot whenever I first met Brian. I remember thinking I just felt very, like he was very drawn to me. I was very drawn to him. Like it didn't feel like there was an option. I'd never really, not that I was being forced to do anything,
right.
I didn't feel like,
you felt compelled.
I felt like there was some bigger reason. So that might be an answer to this question too. I actually used to think that he was sent from the future. Isn't that strange for me to talk about?
No. I'm sorry, you used to think your husband was sent from the future?
Yes, because we knew each other for a couple years and there was a lot of, should we be together? Should we not be together? And he was always so persistent about it and I couldn't figure out why. And one of my thoughts in my mind was, he must be coming from the future and there must be some really big, important reason that we should be together. And I thought maybe one of our children is going to like save the world one day or something.
I love that so much.
But now I wonder if it's more just all over our community and all of the people that we pick up along the way. I don't know.
That gives me like Umbrella Academy vibes.
And it made me feel like it was right.
It's exciting.
Like I'd never really had that feeling with anyone else.
Before.
So I wondered like, well, this must be right. And those must not have been right.
Right. I feel like that has happened, that same like feeling with certain friends too, where again, it's just easy. There's not a lot of effort that goes into it because I'm sure now, at least for me, this is my experience, but now that I meet so many parents all the time because of the kids' sport activities or school activities, there's definitely people that I'm like, you cool, but this isn't going to go anywhere. Like I don't have that same connection. Like nice, very nice, but you can just tell that there's not like a mesh. There's not like an instant, I want to hang out with you. And that was happening a lot in that group, that particular group that we're talking about. Like we would meet different people and I'd be like, I really loved blah, 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 blah. Like they were just fantastic, And I felt like that was happening a lot with that group. And it still does. I think, naturally since we moved 10 light years away, and people still don't let us live that down at all. But when we're so together,
your husband now works up here.
I know. What the fuck? How did that even happen? Bless it all.
No, I definitely think that we all come into our lives for a reason. I will say, as I get older, I feel like I meet people now and there's some people that I'm like, oh yeah, I connect with this person. But then I'm like, I don't have the energy for this to go any further.
Right. You almost have to have multiple reasons to be around that person for it to really make it worth your time.
Right.
Unfortunately.
Yep.
So, do you want to share your name with us?
John.
Okay.
John. All right. I'm Rachel.
All right, John.
Hi, Rachel.
I'm Krystyn.
Hi, Krystyn.
Yeah.
Krystyn, hi.
Hi. We've had some great dogs stop by and say hello to us.
Did you?
The dogs are way more interested in talking to us than the owners.
I bet. I'm just curious. This is so curious. to
Yeah.
me.
Well, these are the questions, so you can just pick one. All right.
What's a goal or dream you're working towards? Buying a house in Florida.
Okay. Okay. Where in Florida?
Sarasota.
Sarasota. Yeah. So Sarasota is on the Gulf side,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. My brother lives in Cape Coral.
That's further south.
South. Yeah.
They're in trouble.
Well,
Cape Coral.
they've been in trouble.
Yeah.
But you mean just continued because of...
It's continued.
Yeah.
They are, every 15 minutes, a house is up for sale. It's economically turning into a catastrophe as we speak.
My brother's rent is going through the roof. And but his nothing else is changing.
Everybody's dumping out, trying to get money out. They can't sell.
Yeah.
So, okay, I'll rent it and see what we can do.
Yeah.
I'll wait for the market to turn. And in the meantime, I'm putting it up for rent is the ploy.
Right.
But they're in
Big
trouble.
building, think about it.
Yeah.
They're in
HOA went
trouble.
up, insurance went up, and it goes right.
Floods,
Yes.
unaffordable.
Right.
It's
Yes.
not good.
No. So why Sarasota?
We like the area. It's
Okay.
pretty.
Yeah.
We met there
Oh, good.
I love that.
40 years ago.
Nice.
Oh,
And
congratulations.
so you guys live here in the
Pittsburgh.
north area. Yeah, very good. Love that. And have you ever had another home? Are you going to keep both homes? Like have a home base here? And...
I don't think I can. She wants to, but, I don't think it's the right. I'll work off an airplane, but I'm not crazy about two households.
Yeah, what does that feel like kind of ending one large chapter?
Exciting.
Yeah,
I'm
okay, good. Yes.
I want I want the page to turn. Pittsburgh's been very good to us.
Sure.
But I'm 63
Yeah.
and I want to be a little more comfortable. I want to see what else is out there for us.
Yeah.
And I think this is a radical move to go explore.
Okay.
It's where I'm at.
I love
I think
that.
that's
Does that sound
incredible.
right?
I mean, it's one thing to be able to explore in our areas and explore in our lives, but I know for me, like I've always been a big traveler, and anytime I go anywhere, I learn something about myself that I never even knew was possible. And to completely move to a new place, like, is just so soul-giving, but at the same time, highly educational.
I think it's more of a leap of faith.
Okay.
Absolutely.
And that's what we're going through right now. Okay. If the worst case scenario, we can come back. I mean, I still can work. I'm still presentable in the marketplace. But in traveling, you do learn something about yourself, such as, example, we were down in Longboat Key during the hurricane.
Okay.
So,
Helene, the most recent one.
yeah.
Yeah.
and all of a sudden, Zoda Resort says, "You got to leave." I said, "Well, where should I go?" Well, try in town because we're turning off the water and we're raising the bridges by 7:00. Well, that's not a whole heck of a lot of time to go. We still had appointments down there and we didn't know how bad it was because it was in Cuba, the storm.
Yeah.
And okay, fine, we're out. I've been thrown off an island. Okay,
Right.
that's a first.
Yeah.
So we're going down and it hits. It wasn't so much the wind, and I'm getting to a point. It's not so much the wind, 70 miles an hour.
Yeah.
But it's not 150.
Right.
But
right.
the water would not stop.
Right.
So just over the key is Bradenton.
Right.
And the hotel started flooding. Okay, well, we got to get out of this hotel. Remember, everybody on the coastline is going in town, so there's no places.
No.
So we find another place at 10 o'clock at night. We hear people slushing around, and I open the door, and the fire department is there saying, "This is a mandatory evacuation. Get out now." I go, "We got to pack." "No, you got to get out." So Janice, come on, we got to go. We're throwing everything in ours. And then it's up to our waist.
In less than 10 minutes.
In
Oh, my
our
gosh.
room.
The fireboxes were bursting because the water rising.
Yeah.
Because
So
of the
now it's
electricity.
a fire hazard and
Yes,
electricity.
yes,
I'm
yes.
carrying
Electrocuted in the water.
our
Yes,
suitcase.
yeah. Oh, God.
Struggling.
Oh, God.
And then,
You didn't have this guy, did you?
No, I didn't have him.
Oh, thank God.
But the lights are all out.
Right.
It's
It's
8:30,
night.
9
You
o'clock
have
at
nowhere
night.
to
You can't
go.
see anything. And you've got your vacation stuff with you.
Yeah,
Right.
so,
Oh, my God.
and I got
Oh,
the fireman
no.
saying, you got to leave
All
now. I
the
said,
jewelry,
you
all
got to
the
back
shoes.
off. I'm
Yeah.
not leaving her jewelry, her nice 12 pairs of shoes.
Right. Right.
You know what I mean?
Right. Totally.
So we're carrying it out, waist high in water. Now, what do?
Right.
We get into the rental car. Well, the water's up halfway to the door. I said, honey,
It's flushing into.
you got to open this door quickly and jump in.
Yeah.
And then you get the picture.
Right. Oh.
But where do you go?
Right. Where did
So-
you go?
We found another place on a third story. And as soon as we
An hour
get
and a half
in,
later.
it's 2:00 in the morning.
Right.
Let's just go to bed. Well, she's looking up and she's seeing a leak in the roof.
Oh.
And I go,
okie dokie.
It's okay. But the roof started kind of coming
Sinking?
in.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
and I said, honey, that's on your side. We're okay.
We're okay.
So,
I'm going to get some sleep. You can just panic and lay there.
so we survived 4 hotels in one day. That's a record for
24
me.
hours.
That is a lot.
So
that is a lot.
but
Did that deter you at all from
yeah, it did.
Florida?
The
Because,
place we're looking at now is inland. With
Yeah, it
him working out of town,
Yes.
and me being there by myself,
Sure.
I told him
No.
I would have been really hard pressed to do this by myself.
Yes,
Right,
yes,
right.
yes. Yeah.
I think I'm past that stage.
Right. I agree.
but the house
I can
that
relate.
I had
yeah.
set up before this was gorgeous. And it just brought us down to a realization that maybe the beach is not the best move for us.
Right.
And as we're in our 60s.
Right.
I mean,
Because even physically, like if you survive a hurricane, and this is what's happening with a lot of people that are dealing with this that never experienced anything related to Mother Nature, is the mental aspect of it. And
well, put
how,
one
how
on
do you,
us.
how do
Yeah, I
you,
get
how do
it.
you come back from that?
There's another one heading straight up
Yeah.
tomorrow and Saturday, same
The,
area.
the long and the short of this long
We'll be done.
story is we didn't fight.
Right.
I mean, it wasn't why did you do,
Yeah,
it wasn't that. It
right.
was like, all right, honey, on to the next. It was
Yeah.
kind of weird. It was that,
But that shows that you have
mean,
an
would you agree
incredible
with that?
foundation,
Yes,
though.
it was.
yeah, she hates me. That's the foundation.
No, it was.
Yeah, right.
It was so out of our control that you were just kind of,
You become
Complacent.
very accepting, but now what's
Yes.
the next
like you say, a learning
thing?
experience.
Right.
Yes.
That's what it became. It became, what can we learn from this?
Right. And to learn something that new about each other after 40 years, it takes an act of Mother Nature, right?
It really does. But that is I think that's such a beautiful lesson too, and gives people so much hope, because I feel like you have different seasons in a marriage where some of them are lower than others, but then you can also have these rebirths or new adventures. And that's really exciting too.
And it put things into perspective, I think, because the place we went to look at was substantially more expensive. It was right by the beach.
Yep.
And with the HOAs now
Yes.
rising, now with insurance, if
Sure.
you can even get it, rising, I said to him, you'll never be able to quit work,
Yeah.
and we'll never be able to enjoy any of this.
Yeah.
And all the costs are out of our control, which is a big fear for, I'm in the fourth quarter on work, right?
Mhm.
So why put us in that position? I couldn't pay cash for what we want. It's a lot of money for us.
Yeah.
But, So do you have any other jarring questions for me?
I mean,
Jarring?
not jarring.
Soul searching?
Yeah. All our questions are soul searching.
If you were going to leave one piece of advice for the next person to sit in that chair, what would it be?
Well, you got to be a little more pertaining to what topic?
Anything, any piece of life wisdom.
If you were to just meet somebody and they were on a journey, you don't know much about them, what would you say just to
Well, the key of
uplift them about life?
The key to life is acceptance.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it all boils
That's
down
own.
to.
Take it as it comes.
It's acceptance. The more acceptance I have in any situation, the happier and more content I am.
Yeah.
If I cannot do that, then I got to change it.
Our current world is so out of our control.
Acceptance.
Oh, yeah,
I
it is.
have to accept where, if I'm not accepting, I'm fighting or running.
Yep.
I agree.
Radical
That's-
acceptance. I
Well,
love
it's
that
acceptance.
advice.
God.
You
Yep.
know?
Yep.
It's all,
That's-
believe it or not,
that's
girls, it's in the Serenity Prayer.
There you go. It is. Yeah.
Thank you.
Take care.
We appreciate you joining us. Thank you.
Isn't she cute? Isn't she?
So cute.
You're a lucky guy.
Yep.
I picked her up hitchhiking 40 years ago. She
I love
hadn't gotten
it.
out of the car yet.
Bye.
That was incredible.
I would like to talk about dreams.
No. I don't want to talk about dreams. Oh man, they've been wild.
Just your dreams. No, dreams specifically when your significant other cheats on you. How does that?
Right. This is the first time that's ever happened. I've ever had one. I've always seen the funny reels that people do.
Mm-hmm.
It was like when she wakes up mad because
Mhm.
she dreamt that you cheated,
Mhm.
cheated on her.
Mm-hmm.
And there's definitely a feeling attached with it.
Oh, yeah. You wake up and
I wasn't mad, but I certainly wasn't my normal
oh, don't lie.
good morning. Oh, I'm certainly not lying. He woke up and I was like, we both were still like half asleep. And this is the space, I don't know if anybody else is like this, where I have to be in that like half asleep space to retell/recount
Oh,
my dream.
for sure. For
Right.
sure.
And so I don't even think I had an eye open, if I'm honest. I just was like, hey, you know what you did last night?
Always a good way to wake up.
It's like, no, but
Like-
you're going to tell me.
It's like immediate, like, what? Did I sleepwalk?
Yeah. But I feel like there's definitely so much attached to dreams, and I'm certain we could analyze it. I feel like dream interpretation is one of those things that I have gotten into in like small chunks in my life. Like I'll get real into it for a while, and then I don't really put the time into like consistent research and education to feel like I'm well versed in any sort of dream
I
analysis.
feel the same way about astrology and your zodiac and, I mean, everything basically in the spiritual world.
So I had 2 dreams in succession. And the first one was that Charlie was trying to improve a bad relationship that he was having with this
Other
other
woman.
coworker that I named her in my dream. He certainly
me.
doesn't have anybody named this that he works with, but that Krysty in
Krysty.
in Dreamland, she's a real bitch trying to steal my husband.
Did you see her in the dream? Or you just, how did you know?
It was like she didn't really have a face, but she had a form, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
But she had a name, and he felt that doing this was going to improve their working relationship.
What is this something you speak of, Krystyn?
Getting a blowjob.
Can't you see men in general just being like, no, you don't understand.
Wait,
This is going to improve our working relationship. This has probably happened in actual marriages. And there have probably been women that have been like,
God, can you imagine?
oh, okay. I can see where you're going with that. No, you can't.
I'm not one of those women.
No, you can't. You cannot see.
He was like, but babe, I didn't do this in real life. I'm like, I know.
Mm-hmm.
The other dream happened directly after, but I can't recount that for certain because this dream I was struggling to even remember, and then Charlie's had to remind me about it twice now.
Yeah, well, in
So I remember I had
great detail.
Right. So again, I told him all of this before I ever opened my eyes.
Mm.
You cheated on me. And then the next thing, it really was just not a great night in Dreamland for Charles because apparently in the next dream, we were hanging out with you guys.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, on
We were
vacation.
traveling. Yeah. And he decided to Winnie the Pooh it. So he was just walking around with a T-shirt and his balls hanging out. But there was no penis involved.
Well, we couldn't have been with the kids. Was it just an adult-only vacation?
No, I think it was like the families. And
You would have kiboshed that.
Yeah, well,
I mean, he would have too, but
he was like there. I think there was a pool situation, and I was like, "There's somebody swimming right towards you," and I was like very irritated that he had his balls out the whole time. And then
just irritated, not mad.
It was like a mild inconvenience.
I would have been like, "Put that shit away! What are you doing?"
And then we went to get ice cream.
Of course. Dip them in chocolate.
And
put a little whipped cream on it.
I told him, you stay in the car. You do not bring those things.
Could he not put them away? Were they like glowing or something? Like, why did they need to be out?
I don't know. And then, so we left him. I parked illegally.
Oh, right. Yeah.
I can envision how I parked, though, for sure. It was kind of on a median.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely parked legally.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, you stay in the car. And he proceeded to not stay in the car. And he came into the ice cream shop with balls hanging out.
Oh my God.
We're all in there getting our ice cream.
No, he's not listening.
And then we came out and the car had been towed.
Now we had to walk home with his balls. Where were we on vacation?
Not a clue.
So do you remember
Somewhere
if it was
that we
like
didn't get arrested?
like
with
somewhere
him just,
tropical?
No, it was like an urban area. We were in a city.
Okay.
We were definitely not in like a tropical destination.
Okay.
We could have very well been in like a European city.
That would track. Though I think it's more boobs, not balls, that they're down with.
Right. Like, I feel like the Mounties would come get you if you're just...
The Mounties of Canada?
No.
Now we're in Canada.
They have Mounties in Europe. I don't think they call them Mounties.
I don't think they do. I think
They're not?
No.
Did I just jump continents?
I think Mounties are just Canadian.
I'm looking this up. Our Google machines have come in very handy this morning because when you came over, we were talking about this whole Today's Show.
Oh my gosh.
So we can talk about this because it'll come out after this happens. But in a few days, Charlie is going to be playing on the Today Show with Snoop Dogg.
Who knows what's going to happen, but that is such a crazy cool experience.
Right.
I'm already geeked up for it. But we already told Charles, I asked Charles if he would slip a business card for our podcast. And somebody else asked him if he could do something else. And also
fund one of the band programs.
Yeah. And then my kids naturally were like, we want to meet Snoop Dogg too.
Charlie's like, you're not going to whore me out.
Yes.
I'm going to become legitimate friends with him.
That's what he said, with Calvin. And then I said, who's Calvin?
I said, it's Snoop Dogg's real name. So then this whole conversation ensued where Rachel was like, I'm pretty sure he stopped smoking weed. Because she was like, I would smoke weed with him on the podcast.
Yeah,
I
did.
For a podcast.
Yes. I would be completely incoherent, not making any sense, just putting myself out there in all of the most vulnerable, authentic ways for Snoop Dogg or Willie T. Nelson. So listen, if you're listening to our podcast and you're like, these girls are amazing and I want to get high with them, Krystyn and I will do that. Just for the two of you.
The whole reason that this came up is because this is the second time we've had to Google something ridiculous today. The first was, did Snoop Dogg actually stop smoking weed? And that was, are there Mounties in England? And Google is like, you must mean mountains, bitch. Yes, there are mountains in England. Oh, see, there are mounted police in England. I am not out of my mind. There are 13 mounted police sections in the UK.
Mounted?
Yes. That's what horse cops are called.
Really?
Yeah.
That's the definition of a Mountie?
What did you think a Mountie was?
A cop in Canada?
Nope. It's a horse.
That's what
cop.
they named them.
Okay. All of this is becoming clear, you guys.
So Pittsburgh has Mounties because I've seen them in the city.
Yes, they are mounted horse cops.
Have you been mounted? Well, yes, I have every day. I did not know any of this information. Fuck. Then every country has Mounties then. I literally thought,
I was like,
wasn't there a show about Canadian cops on horses?
You're asking the wrong fucking person.
I'm pretty sure it was called. Okay. Yeah, y'all, duh. That is true.
I might not know about TV shows, but I know about Mounties, y'all.
What's the definition of a Mountie? Nope, also just gave me mountain. So is Mountie?
It's a slang term for
it's a slang.
mounted police.
What's the definition of a police officer who rides on a horse?
You guys, she does not trust me.
Mounted police.
See, told you she doesn't trust me.
Oh my God, it's horseback or camelback.
I mean, that would still be mounted.
What if they replace them
camels in Canada?
Camels. Now we're starting to get somewhere with the visualization that is happening. Notable examples include the Royal Canadian Mounted Police, the Mexican Royals, the Rhodesian British South African Police, and the Turkish ZA. That was close. That was a giant acorn.
I'm pretty sure you just butchered a lot of that.
Zepata.
You're a zepata, right?
And the Spanish Civil Guard. Okay. Australia has them. Well, why not? Where's the... Anyways.
Jeffrey!
He's...
You guys, we have Jeffrey behind a microphone!
Finally. Jeez.
Can you hear okay, Jeff?
I can.
Good. It's good to hear your voice over the mic.
It's fabulous.
How many people have passed us?
Probably half a dozen to, no, maybe more than that, 10.
We can't count.
A lot of them are
we can't.
on bikes.
Yeah, we can't count people on bikes.
They're just whipping through
Okay.
here.
Those two people that just rode by us, though, we both waved, and neither of them
Nothing.
waved.
There were a couple guys that looked like they were interested, that they wanted to stop their bikes, but they were in the middle of getting their fitness on.
Yeah, they were getting their fitness on. Yeah, they were coming down this hill at like 100.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
Stop! Terrifying. I said we need to set up a first aid triage kiosk over here, and that way we can throw the sticks and trip them as they come up.
You need one of those things that that you roll out and that pops their
the
tires.
spike.
Yeah.
We need a spike strip for the bike.
Well, you had to stop now.
We will definitely end up on the local Facebook group.
That cop that shot the raccoon would probably sounds like he'd be like a cop that would also...
Jeff, you remember this? Do you remember this story?
No.
Charlie talking about this? I swear
I don't think
it
so.
just happened.
No.
You're going to have to wait and talk to him then.
All right.
Basically, a cop showed up. Somebody had hit a raccoon. Cop showed up. Charles was taking the trash out.
Baby raccoon.
And the cop put more than 3 bullets into this raccoon. Next
like
to Charles.
4 or 5 rounds.
Didn't tell him he was going to shoot the raccoon. And then was like, oh, you're putting your trash out? And scooped the raccoon up and put it in their trash can.
But he fired off like 4 or 5 rounds with Charlie there.
This was in where you're at?
Yeah, out front of our driveway. After it was a baby raccoon that had already been hit. How many rounds do you need?
True.
Seems like an inappropriate amount.
Well, I would say it's much like where we live, and there's not a whole lot going on, so they got to unload their weapons
off.
sometimes.
Like, what's the old cartoon?
Yosemite Sam.
Yes. He's like, pew, pew.
Rootin' tootin'.
That's how I envisioned this cop down there at the end of the
Rootin' tootin'.
See, you guys, I just referenced something from TV.
Yeah,
Rootin'
when we were
tootin'.
5.
Rootin' tootin'.
Good
That would be a
times.
good name for a restaurant.
Rootin' tootin'?
Mm-hmm.
Rootin' tootin'.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Are you just gonna...
What are you going to serve? Beans?
Jeffrey!
I'm pretty sure there's other food that makes you toot.
Franks and beans.
What's the song?
You know the song. Go ahead, tell me.
No, I don't remember all of it. My parents didn't grow up saying it to me. But Jeffrey loves to always
I have
reference
a hard
this.
time believing Michael Marr did not sing the Beans song.
Call him and ask him if he knows the bean song. I guarantee he has no clue what you're talking about.
Musical fruit.
The more you eat.
The more you toot. The more you toot, the better you feel. So you should eat beans for every meal.
Oh, man, you really went there with that extra verse.
I did.
I don't think I knew that one.
You didn't?
No. I only know the limited amount that Charlie has
All together now.
interjected into my life. I don't know if you guys know this, but I don't like talking about farts and boobs.
yet it seems to come up often.
Fuck, I can't get away from it.
No.
All right, ask Jeff the question.
Okay, so we're in nature,
Mm-hmm.
and your lovely wife brought up forest bathing. You heard this before, this
No.
term?
No.
So basically, it's like recharging by connecting with Earth and being out in nature and, not around technology and whatnot. And a lot of people do it with bare feet.
So it's kind of like grounding.
Right. It is a grounding
It's in
exercise.
conjunction with.
So what do you do to recharge your energy?
Probably nothing, honestly.
Really?
Just keep going.
Do you ever feel like you hit a wall then? Because I'm a person that goes and goes and goes, but I also do grounding exercises because I know otherwise I'll fall flat.
Yeah. I'm more like kind of veg out on electronics probably, and I shouldn't, but it's kind of just recharge the battery that way, just kind of downtime, but mostly it's always going. I don't do much in the self-care like Rachel does.
No, I feel like you fall into a category with a lot of people, though.
Yeah.
That feel that way. And they're like, no, this is how I recharge. I watch something on my phone or, on TV or whatever. I personally feel like if I sit there on my phone and scroll, I physically feel like shit.
Yeah.
Like I don't feel recharged at all.
Right.
Jeffrey is a very good sleeper. He recharges when he sleeps.
I was going to say, because you put out a lot of energy between your job
Mm-hmm.
and being a coach.
Yeah.
You expend a huge amount of your energy every day.
Yes.
I don't know how you refuel that if you're not taking time for yourself.
Yeah. I'm a giver. Right?
Yeah.
I like to, I do like to
So
help.
I've heard.
Yeah. Well,
In all the ways.
uh,
We did not talk about that today, but
Yeah. I do get enjoyment out of seeing other people grow from things that, we're teaching them and so on and so forth. So there's a little bit of good energy that comes back from that. But other than that, I don't take a lot of time for myself to do self-healing exercises, anything like that. But I do, I guess listening to podcasts, things like that are a little bit recharging. I do that on my drive to work and home because we've got about 40 minutes or so.
Yeah.
So I can get some stuff in there. I tend to gravitate towards sports things, but at the same time, it's not all just about sports. Sometimes it's feel good. Sometimes it's, there's one particular podcast that I listen to a lot. It's called Wrestling Changed My Life. And there's a lot of, you get some of the insight about some people, some quote unquote heroes growing up that you had wrestling coach wise and where their mindset is and how they function. And that brings a lot of, that brings some energy back into you as well.
Yeah, no, I would agree with that. I know at least Charlie and I both feel that we get a lot of energy back into our energy, fields by teaching.
Yeah.
Especially working with music. I think there's so much energy around that and a lot of healing with it too. And just watching people grow and people learn and build confidence in themselves. And same with listening. I mean, a lot of the podcasts I listen to are self-growth, right? Personal growth. What do you think is the best advice that you've ever received about growth? Whether it's in a podcast or somebody ever told you?
I tell people this a lot, but it's control what you can control, right? I had a coach when I was in college. I was trying to do too much playing a particular position, and everybody has their own role and responsibility. And it's true in life as well. Everybody has their own role and responsibility. And when you try to control too much, bad things happen. So just learning that from a young age was huge. And I try to pass that on now. Everybody has their job. If you do your job and you can control what you can control, things will fall into line.
Right. I think that's great advice.
I agree.
You didn't give us the all-encompassing yeah.
I know, because I need to come up with a different word for it. I don't like the yeah.
Did you get punished about your yes today?
No?
No, she called herself out on it earlier. Because we were talking about something and she was like, yeah. And she was enthusiastically excited to agree with me.
I was like, it's such a dumb word. It needs to be a much more in-depth, deep.
You probably just cut 10 minutes of your podcast out by taking out her yes. Joking.
Here we go again.
Oh, boy.
So much love in the air. Yes.
Ooh, there was an S on the end.
That's on the end of that one.
Yeah.
She is digging deep, guys.
Yeah. Now that's it. I'm going to replace the yeah with yes.
You should do the...
Just do the Arsenio Hall whoop.
Just do the Little John. Yeah.
Man, that is loud.
Oh, man.
What was the Arsenio Hall one?
He just punched himself right in the
Right in the earphones.
Right in the earphones. Right in the earphones.
Oh, man. Charlie's going to be so jelly. He already was like, I wish you had told me you were doing this. I guess we didn't talk about it, which I thought we had. But
I can
listen,
see
our life's been crazy.
Him saying this. I wish you would have told me about this.
Which we probably talked about it. But honestly, there's only
Oh, no,
you
this-
can only
So-
hold so much
okay,
shit in your
I'll
brain.
tell a story about that.
No, this just came.
Please do. Because he was like, I would have taken the day off and come and recorded with you guys.
So Rachel and I got into a little disagreement.
It was not a
argument
disagreement. No, it
the
was
other
a
day.
fucking argument. It was not a disagreement.
So Rachel has a dinner that she has told me about, apparently, and I do not remember having this conversation at all. And I'm usually pretty good with that stuff. But I don't remember having the conversation. And she rattled off like 15 things. Do you remember at this time when we talked about this? Blah, blah. And I'm like,
to give you context?
and I'm going, no.
Like around the
Yes.
conversation? Okay.
Yeah, I had no idea what she was talking about. She's like, we talked about this. I know we had this conversation. And I'm like,
It's about
Still
the
no.
scholarship that I won in the dinner where they're honoring all of the recipients. And it's downtown. My parents are coming into town for it. It's on a Thursday. I told him he needed to take off work. I don't know who else I would have had this conversation with. So I'm telling him all of this. And he's like, yeah.
So this is where
I
the
think I
yeah
said
comes
okay. I think I said okay.
No, you said
And then I
something.
said,
and you were like,
I don't remember that.
You
I
said-
said, I don't remember that, but that doesn't mean it didn't happen. And then that ensued.
I think that makes me even more mad. I mean, I don't remember it, but maybe it happened.
I think that happens a lot, though. I mean, especially in families where you have so many things and so many moving parts every day.
Well, that and Jeff has a job where he will answer the phone when he has no business answering the phone, and then I'll go into something, and he's like, I gotta call you back, or like someone walks in and has to do work, and I'm like, just work, it's fine. So it's very possible that it could have been one of those situations where like I said all I needed to say, and he said, okay, sounds good, but really was completely not listening at all.
Yeah, Charlie does that, and it's usually when he's in the throes of sending an email for something to do with band, or he's dealing with something else. And I've started to learn though when he's doing this and acknowledge it, and I'll just be like, "Hey, you're not actually retaining a fucking thing I'm saying, so we'll come back to this later."
Yes,
Because it does. It happens a lot.
it's fine.
Because you want to give your partner the attention when they're like, hey, I need to tell you about this thing.
Yeah.
Doesn't necessarily mean that we're in the right frame of mind to retain it.
Correctamundo.
That was a good one.
That's one from my childhood.
We were talking recently. I don't remember this happening. I guess towards the beginning of our relationship, Charlie said something and I said, "Ooh, doggies." And he was like, "Oh my God, my grandfather used to say that."
And he loved it?
Yes, he loved
he
it.
loved
Because he's
it.
like, I didn't know anybody that ever said that. And I'll be honest, I don't think I've ever said it again until this moment. So
You're like, that's all
squeaked that one in.
That's all it took. Little ooh doggies. Ooh doggies.
Well, guys, it does not always happen the way you think it's going to happen.
Sure don't.
And that's okay, because we've had a lot of laughs today, a lot of great conversation.
We recharged our batteries.
We did. I got to mediate between mom and dad here, which was great. And actually, it's been, I think, really lovely. And we got to have Jeffrey on the podcast.
And now we know our spot. And next time
Yeah,
we can just push it a little bit harder before, just showing up, or come with an agenda and let serendipity work out the way it's going to work out. We did have a lot of people walk by and smile and wave, and hopefully we got a couple new listeners.
My plan is to have more signs leading up so that people know it's coming that are like,
Did you see a couple of people? They were like, and we're going to turn around right here.
Yeah. But to be like,
There was one that came right here. They walked the whole way down the path and saw the sign and turned back around and went up the other way.
Yes, I saw that woman. I was like, wow.
but
It doesn't,
if we
it
give
is
them
intimidating.
like, it's like, hey, have you, like the signs, have you had something amazing happen this week? Or,
Yeah.
get people
Yeah.
thinking
Yeah.
leading up to being right here with us.
I was just trying to avoid the acorns from pummeling my head over.
Did
on
you
the-
actually get hit?
I was close. It was close. It was within a foot.
Join us next time. We have our shit together. Or not.
I kind
Sometimes it's nice.
For it.
Sometimes it's nice to not have your shit together.
I hope that you gathered something from this podcast. Mainly that shit just doesn't go as planned, and that's okay. And if you try hard enough, you can annoy people to come over here and talk to you on your podcast, even if they don't want to.
Even if they're your husband and they're obligated to. Thanks for joining us, Jeff.
Yeah,
Thank
no
you,
problem.
Jeff. This
Yeah.
is like your first real time on the podcast.
Yeah, not on the phone.
All right, guys. Any parting words for the next person that sits in your... Yeah, is she answering a phone call right now?
Yep.
Any parting words to the next person that sits in your guest seat?
Just open up. Talk. Just talk.
Words of wisdom, guys.
Yep.
Just talk.
Just talk.
Please don't come on the podcast and not talk.
Like you.
Like me?
Yes.
Yeah.
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 All right, guys, we're out.
All right, bye.
Bye-bye.